I just received the Holy Grail statue of Team Taka, but this statue may be a little bit too sus for me to keep in my collection, and my mom will decide if it stays or goes. If you know me, you know I'm not into those super sussy statues that objectify characters more than I'm comfortable with, so that's why I'm bringing in my mom, She has no idea why I asked her to be in this video today, so I'm risking it all on her final decision. Let's get to it. Today's statue is made by the awesome UTS Studio, and as we can see, there are 268 units that were made worldwide. And on the front is a headband with a kanji. If somebody could help me out, let me know what that does say. And above, we can see a giant tentacle from Hachibi or Eight Tails. And all around are notches with magnets where members from Team Taka will be connecting to the statue. What's crazy is when you get up close to the tentacle, so much texturing was done to make it look realistic. There's also some battle damage and scarring all along. Here is our first effect piece for the statue. On the bottom is a notch and magnet where we'll key into the statue. They do a magnificent job at making the resin super clear and detailed, so you can see the nice fade between the blue and clear itself. This second effect piece does have a giant fist imprint on the bottom, so I'm pretty sure you can guess who this is going to belong to or who is causing this in the water. Crazy enough, we have more of the tentacles to add to the statue. Over here on our right side, we'll be adding this one right here. Here's another kind of a closer look. We couldn't get this close up to the other one before. We could see the notch where it does go into the statue and a kind of curly Q at the end there. You may have already figured it out, but this statue is bringing to life the time when the team infiltrated the village to try to steal the Eight Tails, so Amaterasu flames are going to be scattered all throughout. The one thing that I love about this statue so much is the fact that it is telling a story, right? Even before we've added any characters, you know exactly what scene this is from and what it's attempting to bring to life. And for the last piece, we have this huge one. Now, these have multiple purposes with this statue. So number one, obviously to bring to life the fact that Eight Tails is here, and that's what they're doing, but also they're going to be supporting several of the characters as they will be attaching to them. I'm getting a little distracted here, but I couldn't help but notice that this side looks like a half of a heart, so we'll go ahead and complete that here. And there you have it, the completed base onto the characters. We do have to remove one piece really quick. As you may have guessed earlier, the fist marking in the water is going to be none other than Jugo. Every character sculpted in today's statue is amazingly done to look dynamic and flowing, so you can see the robe obviously represented that, and the paint job is awesome on all these. There's not a lot of texturing going on. We kind of see that in some statues sometimes, but they pretty much left that to the diorama, not much on the characters. If there was ever a character I never thought I'd own a statue for, it's Jugo. So really cool. We have this stage 2 arm that's been formed. We have this like jet or rocket type engines that are coming out of his arms. And then here's the second one. A little bit of a different motion here with the way that the shoulder is angled. I love it how he's posed, looking like he's punching right down one of the eight-tail arms, and the head sculpt on this, just like everything else so far, is just masterful. He's partially transformed on the side of his face, and the emotion he's bringing, I can really tell he's actually enjoying the battle. Obviously, he was pretty crazy in the series at that time. And there it is, another member down. Another thing I love about this statue is the composition, how each character has their space and area where they can be spotlighted. And next up is the controversial part of this statue that I'll get to later because that section was sculpted separately, but she's not really doing anything other than being restricted by the arm wrapping around her. I guess, what can you really expect for a character who doesn't have an over-the-top type of jutsu or overpowered? She did mainly focus on the role of healing for the team. But overall, right here, they did do a great job at making her look like she is struggling, and here is that top section that was sculpted separately. First thing to point out, she has a bunch of bite marks all along her chest. So in the series, she would get bit, and that would be the means in which she'd heal people, but it was done on the arm, so a little odd there, and also the fact that the shirt goes down pretty far. Also, to me, her facial expression just doesn't match this moment at all. I would expect something like her teeth gritting or her eyes squinting from being squeezed and the pain that that's causing, but it almost looks like she is enjoying herself. But thankfully, the studio did announce really late in the production that they have this little piece that you can put and cover up the chest a little bit. And though it's a small gesture, I really appreciate the studio taking the extra step and making this for collectors. Next up, we have what looks like is another water effect piece, but if you look closer, we'll notice there is some bottom torso and legs that belongs to another member. Just like Jugo, I never expected to get a statue for Suigetsu, so amazing to have this come to life. And here is the top portion. We have that leather belt that's holding Zabuza's old blade there. And cool, we have the transparent water effects on the bottom, so it does transition nicely between the two pieces. One of the things that I'll say about this statue as well is whoever sculpted this or created this definitely has a passion for Naruto and these characters, the way that they just seamlessly bring them all together, even just the pieces alone. For those that may be newer to the channel and haven't heard the word, Zabuza is my favorite character in the series. I have a whole nother video going through as to why. I guess I'll go ahead and link here. But thankfully we have the Executioner's blade making its return in this statue. Out of all versions of his blade I've seen brought to life, this is probably one of the weakest. Now, we have a magnet on the back that'll help it stay in motion in the air, and also here is a metal version that I have, probably the best one I've ever seen created. So again, real metal. Even if you flip it over on the back, you'll see the little rivets going down the spine of the sword. So amazing the way they shaded the details. You can see them side by side, just night and day, the quality and difference. So a little bit disappointing there, but it's okay. I guess it's just a weapon in the statue. And then for the head sculpt, they did so good with this. I love it. They captured his likeness and also his emotion really well, right? He's smirking. He was an arrogant son of a gun. So amazing that they captured it so well. Going back to Karin, right? It just seems odd and out of place, while this one just perfectly fits. And with 3 down already, you can see that amazing composition being brought together. And we, of course, do have the main character. I'd say that they probably focused on a little bit more than others. Justifiably so, though, because it is Sasuke. So amazing to have a statue of him in my collection with him wearing the Akatsuki robes. Such an insane amount of movement going on all throughout the cloak too. Just, man, the dynamic nature of this statue is just mind-blowing how they brought it to life. But again, crazy cool to see him in this outfit in a statue because it was such a brief moment in the series. Because he connects to the statue with only one leg, there is 2 points of connection that does mount him in place there. Underneath of the outfit is still one of these purple ropes that he uses as a belt to tie the whole outfit together, so they have that sculpted separately. And then we have one of his arms that's going to be holding the sword in one of my favorite grips, which is called the reverse grip. And fun fact as well, this is made of real metal, so we have an effect piece that they sculpted as well, lightning, that it will just slide down the spine of this. We can see it's carved out section there. And if we grab the sword, the only thing that's really connecting it to it is friction. So it's such a tight space that when you slide it in there, it stays put, no problem. But really cool, they brought this ability and effect he uses in battle to life. And then for the head sculpt, it is just so good. They captured the likeness so well. We have the Mangekyo Sharingan going on. Of course, we have the Amaterasu flames being used, and that's where he was at this point in the series. And bam, there he is, all brought together. So gorgeous, this statue. Before we showcase the whole thing together, I do want to share with you, they have this edition size metal card plaque where you can see a portrait of everybody together there. So really cool. They're edition size on the bottom right. And you know me, I love my cards. So here is the MNT graded 10 for my Taka Sasuke. This is OR number 26, and I have a bunch of returns I got from MNT that I haven't made a video on yet. Look forward to doing in the future, but amazing, this is one of the returns I did get to pair perfectly with the statue. In all its glory, there is this epic statue with all the characters brought to life on one base, just amazingly executed by UTS Studio. So now, time to see what Mom thinks. All right, Mom, so do you know why I brought you here today?
No.
So I have this statue here, and I am curious on your opinion of it, and if you think it's something that you would allow me to keep in my collection if I was a teenager or not. So if I give you a minute to look it over, can you give me your thoughts on it?
Absolutely.
All right, hold on, I'll be back. All right, Mom, so you had your minute. What's your thoughts?
Oh, great statue. Until you get around over here. A little bit inappropriate. Seems out of place.
Okay. Given the whole statue, up or down? Oh.
You know how I raised you. If I made a batch of brownies.
And a little piece of poop was in there, would I still eat it? All right, so... All right, what if I told you they made this little piece right here, and if you put it right in front here, let me know your thoughts on it now. All right, so approved? All right. Mom approved.
Mom approved.
Thankfully, the statue is staying in my collection for a long time, and if you want to pause, here is a quick explanation of that analogy. And if you want to learn more about me and how I afford to stay in this expensive hobby, click this video here. Not many people have actually watched this one. Do what you love and love what you do. Bam out.